Well, you'd never believe this, but I got more out of Christmas when we had nothing bought for us, that sort of Christmas. We weren't an affluent family. I like Christmases when I was young. I like adult Christmases, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But there was something about Christmas when I was 14 and 15.
That sort of age was
It was that sort of age that I enjoyed more than any.
What sort of
But
things
then
did you
when
do?
I got to have my own kids, I like those best.
Right.
Things change as you go through life. One of the questions your mum threw at me several times, which house did you like living in best? Of all the houses we've lived, which one did you like living in best? And it's an impossible question to answer because all the houses we lived in, Wandsworth Park, Theobald Street, Linton Crescent, and now this one, have all been at different ages in our life and different stages in our life with children, etc. So consequently, one could look at Wandsworth Park and think what happy times we had there, small though it was, etc., etc. Then you could move to Theobald Street and think, my goodness, that was lovely. A great big garden for the kids and so forth. It was a lovely house, much bigger than anything we'd ever had before. And then you look at Linton Crescent and you think that was the first detached private residence that we'd ever lived in or owned, albeit that the children had grown up and left us. We had a very, very happy 15 years there.
That's the alarm for eggs.
That's your eggs. Tell them we don't want them anymore.
I don't want them anymore.
Who is it? What do you mean the alarm for eggs?
And then you get to this one where we've really retired into a retirement flat. And we've been quite happy here, haven't we?
Very happy. I love it.
So the question, what I'm getting at, is the question will be impossible to answer in much the same way when you ask, what was the best Christmas you can ever remember? They all differ. Jack asked me that question, Lisa, the other night. What was the best Christmas you can ever remember, Papa, when you were young? And funnily enough, I came up with a memory in that same little bedroom where the window would open and listen to Mozart's clarinet concerto. My father was a builder's labourer and didn't earn a lot of money as a labourer, but every Christmas he used to work part-time for the post office to help deal with the extra mail.
Fair, yeah.
And because it was during the winter, Christmas, he used to buy a torch so that he could read the addresses on the envelope. Well, when he finished his Christmas stint, which was usually Christmas Eve, it was all over then, he used to give me this torch. And on this particular Christmas, for some reason, I can never forget this, I had a book. I don't even know what the book was now. But I remember waking early in the middle of the night, finding this book beside my bed. And because my sisters were asleep in the bed alongside, I went under the bedclothes with this book and this torch. And I read this book until the battery in the torch just flickered and faded away. But that memory stuck with me forever and ever and ever.
So what was your favourite present?
Well, I remember, which was my favourite present, a double-jointed doll. But it was between us, and that's what I didn't like, because I was a selfish little girl. And my mum and dad bought this, because my dad was on whatever system he was, I think it was coaling at that time, but I'm not sure. But he bought this double-jointed doll. There's only one, so he couldn't give her the jointed doll and not me, or the other way round. So he gave it to us between us. And I was really angry about that, that we had to have this doll between Joan and me. Because really I should have had a double-jointed doll as well as her, in my book. And it was a very disappointing Christmas for me, because I didn't have a double-jointed doll of my own.
Oh.
But You know, you don't buy two double jointed dolls, you just have one given to you, which my dad had given to him by one of his coal merchants or one of his coalmen. Give that to your daughter, Harry, but it probably didn't realise he had a little daughter as well. And I was really upset and very, very jealous about that.
Got an email here that someone sent.
But there you go.
But having said that, that business of what's your happiest memory,
Hang on, that's
Yeah, can I just talk to this for a second?
Don't ask.
strange. Mid-sentence and they just walk out on me.
They've obviously gone out to say something about us two. They don't want us to hear. I don't know, so don't ask me what they've gone out for. It's something
That's
to do
right.
with us, though.
Oh, so it's not mid-sentence. We both walk out.
Sorry.
Scott needed to tell
I
me.
need to tell this to something.
No, all I was going to say was that memories differ. Like I've just related that memory with the torch in the book. I could only been about 7 or 8 years old. But at the same time, I've got very happy memories of 12 Wanford Park, me getting up 5:30 in the morning to light the fire, to get the room all cosy and warm, for you two to get up around about 7:30 or something like that, and toddle down the stairs and open all your presents. And I used to sit there with a cigarette and a cup of tea, and happiest times I can remember. But then again, I mean, there were other Christmases that you have fond memories of. That one with the tape recorder, the reel-to-reel, with a little note on it, Scott, press this button, and you press the button, etc., etc. So yeah, all those. And then we had the Jack Christmases, and they're all separate. They've all got their qualities of a good memory. But to pick which is the best one, you can't do it. I don't think so. What's that noise?
No, I said, you told about Scott's Christmas and Jack's, but what about Poor Lisa's Christmas? What did you do special for her?
Well, she was part of it.
Oh, that's all right then. Now you say the member of your Christmas and Jack's Christmas, and she's sitting there not having a Christmas memory.
not having a Christmas. I'm all right.
But you've had some lovely Christmases.
I have. I remember my finest years.
Yeah, of course you have.
Yeah, it was a terrible Christmas. You wouldn't stop crying.
I still remember the feeling of Christmas morning though. I remember me and you going down, and I remember exactly where the Christmas tree was. It was always in that bottom corner as you walked in. It was. And I do remember the feeling.
Which
of
house were you talking about?
Nearbold Street.
Because you wouldn't remember Wandsworth Park very much,
No.
would you?
The only thing I remember about Wandsworth Park is the Indian blankets with the black squares on.
Oh, yeah.
Scott had on bunk beds.
Yeah. I don't remember that.
You would if you
Yeah.
saw them. They were like red and blue, and they had black
Yeah.
squares.
Yeah, that's right, you did. Remember those?
Because we only had the two
single
bedrooms, so you at least had a bunk bed in the back bedroom.
There was a programme on, I didn't ever watch it, but it's people going back to the house that they grew up in, and they replicate exactly how the house looked when they grew up. I think Boy George was one. And they just recreated, they went back to his own house and just decorated it exactly how it was.
So how far back do you remember a house? What was your first memory where you lived?
I was a little girl, Warrington Road, 168 Warrington Road.
Do you remember what the house looked like inside?
Yeah, I do. I don't remember all because there was three tenements. It was three separate families, Mrs. Stagg and her daughter and so on. I don't remember the insides of their part, but I remember the top one of our part, but we only had two rooms, the living room and the kitchen, the cooker on the landing at the top. It was outside the two. We had two rooms upstairs, but the cooker was on the flat landing outside. That's where Mum used to cook. And there was a bedroom, one bedroom, and a sitting room. I remember that very clearly. I was a very small girl, but I didn't like it much.
So what were Christmases like when you were little?
Well, it depends really, because there's a lot of war years, weren't there?
But did you still celebrate Christmas?
Oh yeah, we made sure we had a sort of Christmas, but it wasn't like the Christmas you can have now, because things were rationed. I was only little, and things were rationed, and You couldn't buy sweets very easily, and there's a lot of
Sweets
things
were
you
rationed.
ration. Food was rationed.
That's what Mum said. You couldn't buy sweets very easily.
No.
No. So it wasn't. But you didn't notice you were hard up, did you? Really? You just take it for granted that whatever you had was good. I never thought I was deprived, did you? As a little boy or girl?
You wouldn't know unless you got a yardstick.
That's right.
You know, if you got a very poor, poverty-stricken family
Yeah.
living right next door to a very rich family, and you get the association of the poor kids looking at the rich kids with all their lovely toys, etc., and marvellous Christmases they had. But you don't get that. I mean, when we grew up, everybody was in the same boat,
That's right.
so you had no yardstick to say this is good or this is bad.
Well, you might say that.
You just made the best of what you had.